Hello and welcome to Calypten News, your one-stop for receiving short and precise global updates. I am Adam, and let's start with today's briefing. Today on Calypten News. Let's begin, but before we start, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Search and rescue operations entered a harrowing third day in central Texas, as at least 67 people, 21 of them children, have been confirmed dead following flash floods triggered by over a quarter-foot of rainfall since July 4 in Kerr County. Teams have rescued more than 850 people, but concern is mounting for 11 missing girls and a counselor from Camp Mystic. With forecasters warning of additional rainfall, officials are urgently appealing for a federal disaster declaration to bolster support. In a milestone for Surinamese politics, Jennifer Geerlings-Simons, known as Simons, has been officially elected president by Parliament on July 6, becoming the country's first female head of state. Her National Democratic Party narrowly won 18 seats versus the Progressive Reform Party's 17 following the May 25 elections. Backed by a six-party coalition deal and paraded into power by acclamation, Simons, an experienced doctor and former parliamentary speaker, will be sworn in on July 16. Her presidency comes as Suriname braces for an imminent oil boom, with public debate already focusing on future revenue management. South Korea's special prosecutors have requested the detention of former President Yoon Suk-yeol, citing charges of insurrection, abuse of power, and obstruction of justice. The move stems from Yoon's December 3 attempt to impose martial law to block protests, an action overturned the same day after lawmakers defied security forces. Prosecutors previously arrested and released him for 52 days following technicalities. If convicted, Yoon could face life in prison or even death. His legal team deems the request baseless and plans to contest it in court. TMS tankers confirmed on July 6 that the Greek-operated tanker Vilamoura, carrying around 1 million barrels of Libyan oil, was damaged by an external explosive device in its engine room off the coast of Libya. Sailing under a Marshall Islands flag from Zuatina toward Gibraltar since June 27, the tanker sustained significant shell plating damage. The incident, which echoes a recent pattern of 5 maritime attacks in the region, is under investigation as a deliberate act that threatens shipping security in North Africa. On July 4 around 8 p.m., 20 worshippers including Rabbi Dovid Gutnick were inside Melbourne's East Melbourne Hebrew congregation when a 34-year-old man from Sydney allegedly doused the synagogue's front door in flammable liquid and set it ablaze. Thankfully, no injuries occurred, and firefighters contained the fire. Angelo Loris has been charged with arson, endangering life, property damage, and possessing a controlled weapon. The attack, part of a weekend surge in anti-Semitic incidents, has drawn condemnation from Australian and Israeli leaders and triggered calls for stronger protections and hate crime legislation. At the July 6 BRICS summit in Rio de Janeiro, leaders from an expanded bloc, including Brazil, India, China, represented by PM Lee, Russia, via video, South Africa, and new members like Indonesia and Saudi Arabia, called for urgent reform of global institutions like the UN Security Council and IMF. Brazilian President Lula likened BRICS to the non-aligned movement. Representing over half the world's population and 40% of global GDP, the bloc also rebuked US protectionist policies and pledged climate and tropical forest initiatives. Over 30 nations are said to be seeking membership, though internal diversity complicates consensus, especially on Gaza and Iran. Switzerland has restored operations at its embassy in Tehran on July 6, nearly 2 weeks after closing on June 20 due to escalating regional instability. Ambassador Nadine Olivieri-Lozano, along with a small diplomatic team, traveled overland via Azerbaijan to resume consular workflows. Switzerland also continues to act as the protecting power for U.S. interests in Iran. Diplomatic services will be phased back in gradually. The reopening signals cautious stabilization amid heightened tensions in the Middle East. Ukraine's top commander, Oleksandr Syrsky, sounded the alarm on July 5 about a potential new offensive by Russian forces in the Kharkiv region. Heavy frontline skirmishes continue as Moscow reportedly deploys large infantry formations in attempts to erode Ukrainian defenses. Syrsky confirmed that his visit included visits to forward units, and Ukrainian lines have fended off more than 60 assaults in recent days. The warning emphasizes the persistent pressure on northeastern Ukraine nearly 3 years into the full-scale war. The Israeli military announced on July 6 that it intercepted a missile launched from Yemen. The threat triggered widespread air raid sirens across Israel. Although no casualties or damage were reported thus far, the incident underscores expanding long-range capabilities of Iran-aligned groups like the Houthis and reflects escalating tensions in the Middle East. China has opened a third extension, W121, of the sensitive M503 flight path near the Taiwan Strait, moving closer to Taiwan's median line. Taipei condemned the move as a unilateral attempt to alter the status quo and escalate tensions. China claims the route improves air traffic, but Taiwan warns it threatens regional stability ahead of key military drills. Thanks for watching. Which news did you like the most today? Let us know in the comment below. Hit the bell icon to receive regular updates.